You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. Court fines PF's JJ only 150 kwacha and case closed after his case was reduced from aggravated assault to disorderly conduct. Mines Minister Richard MUSUKWA warns mining companies against hiding their incompetence behind the coronavirus. Lusaka's Kamanga residents regret demolishing police post as crime shoots. And in international news, Guinea reports opposition leader after disputed election. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO boys to pocket 105,000 kwacha each for a win against Zebras. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chiluba, the Healing Word Ministries International.
Starting on the 3rd to 6th December 2020.
Dr. Francis Miles from the USA returns to Zambia for a conference on issuing restraining orders.
Because you see, God responds to your revelation. So if you approach God as the healer, He heals you. If you approach Him as your shepherd, He will touch your soul. But if you approach Him judicially, He will show you He's the cause.
Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Time,
17 hours to 19 hours from Thursday to Saturday.
And on Sunday from 09 hours to 11 hours. For more details, call +260 962 965 883. You do not want to miss this conference this time.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. The people of Kamanga compound in Lusaka's Munali constituency have regretted vandalizing a police post. The residents say as a result of their own actions, crime has increased in the area. On the 27th of September 2020, Kamanga residents ran amok and vandalized the police post after officers shot dead a 17-year-old patron during a night operation while enforcing the COVID-19 health guidelines. The residents have complained that incidents of housebreaking have increased and that people are being attacked at night, yet they have nowhere near to report. More in this report.
The incident, which led to the destruction of a police station, happened in the early hours of Sunday, 27th September 2020, when police reserve officers with members of the neighborhood watch went to close down a bar called Flavor Nightclub. In the process, an altercation resulted in the shooting of a juvenile called Timothy Zulu. This then angered the residents who mobilized and stormed Kamanga police post in numbers, looting and ransacking the station in the process. The police has not been operational since then, and today the people of Kamanga have realized that the act They are also calling on the Zambia police to deploy more trained police officers as opposed to the previous situation where the police had more reserve officers and neighborhood watch group members whom they accused of unprofessionally conducting themselves.
mtukululukira kuti polisi ibwera tete kwa kapokola na kapokola jabenze kwa sabwereko na neighborhood sabwereko neighborhood ngakaleko lo ubiri otaniza kapokola babiri not ba neighborhood bali 20 wakapokola bali babiri ndiye paja kapokola ba neighborhood wakatamfuti na chiteni wakapokola kala.
And we want to just plead with the leadership that please help us bring back this police station in operation. we have started receiving a lot of reports around this community that there are a lot of thieves that have started breaking into people's homes.
2021 Munali constituency parliamentary hopeful Crispin Chinda, who led the community-led initiative, urged members of the public to desist from breaking public facilities when aggrieved. He also assured to complement the rehabilitation of the police once reopened.
Police ni abantu bonse, police ni atutonse, police ilibe mtundu, police ilibe political party. So uka olondo
vandalism have been felt by the people of Kamanga, and now they understand that
Civic leaders in Chipata district of Eastern Province are concerned with the slow pace at which the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, is conducting the voter registration exercise. Chipata City Mayor Sinoya Mwale, in an interview with Zanis, says a lot of people in Chipata district want to register as voters, but the slow pace by voter registration officers is making them spend long hours on queues, and the faint-hearted are going back home. He has since appealed to the Commission to provide all the necessary materials to its officers expeditiously. More in this report.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia launched the voter registration exercise on November 9, 2020. All parts of leaders are concerned.
We are there to support their noble cause, to help in extend their voters registration. I'm appealing to ECZ with the way country prevents situation.
Appeal to ECZ to find a mechanism and work out a modality that is going to fasten the process. The process is worrying, is cumbersome, and I don't think that 9 million targeted voters is going to be achieved. So if this cannot be achieved now, and we have only been given 1 month to register as voters, I think we need to jack up.
And these are words from the would-be voters.
But the line is yenda. Still have a benefiting amgati kapenanichani kaya.
Duwe bafake konzelu, kasa kutila inu yenda mwamusanga kasa kusepeta pita noenda kunganda, lomba na lomba tikalipanani na njala ya nichita no nichita. Kuchokela 7 hours.
Zambians are required to register as voters in order for them to elect representatives in the 2021 general elections. Sylvester Shimba reporting for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Opposition United Party for National Development UPND President Hakainde Hichilema Thursday morning refused to have his children given special treatment in obtaining voters' cards. In this particular case, Mr. Hichilema's children, who arrived at Kapulonga Boys Secondary School as early as 05 hours, remained in the queues up to after 11 hours waiting for them to be attended to by ECZ officers. But But when their father and mother also arrived at the same venue to obtain their voters' cards, UPND Lusaka Province Chairman Obvious Mwaliteta made special arrangements with ECZ officials to have the Hichilema siblings jump the line so as to get their cards fast. But Mr. Hichilema objected to this, saying his children are no better or special than any other Zambians who were also in the queues. He said his children must remain in the queue and get their voters' cards when their turn comes. The trio managed to get their voters' cards around 12 hours. Meanwhile, both Mr. Hichilema and his wife Mutinta have obtained their voters' cards in readiness for the 2021 general elections.
Hichilema, the UPND president, accompanied by his wife Mutinta Hichilema, arriving at Kablonga Boys Secondary School to register as voters ahead of the 2021 general elections. The filled-up registration auditorium roared as the couple made its way in. Mr. Hichilema and his wife then proceeded to join the queue in readiness to be attended to. But while on the queue, it was an opportunity for some Zambians here to get that selfie with the Hichilemas. The couple was on the queue for about 45 minutes until some ECZ officials gave a green light to attend to them. The first to obtain a voter's card was Mrs. Hichilema, while Mr. Hichilema was attending to the many youths who kept asking for pictures with him. Then it was his turn to get his voter's card. The process of obtaining the voter's cards took only about 20 minutes. Being attended to seemed not to take long, but the process of waiting to be attended to is what seems to be taking forever. The UPND leader, while being attended to, also took time to encourage the ECZ office attending to him to continue providing a service to the nation. During all this time, Mr. Hichilema's 3 children who arrived at the center around 05 hours were still on the queue, waiting for their chance to be attended to. At some point, Lusaka Province UPND Chairman Obvious Mwaliteta made arrangements for Mr. Hichilema's children to jump the queue and be issued with voters' cards. But the UPND leader refused, saying his children are no special than others who are also in the queue, waiting to be issued with the same voters' cards. He said his children must follow the line and only get their voters' cards once their chance comes. After the registration was done, Mr. Hichilema had this to say.
The process is very slow. At the rate they're going, when you work an average of probably no more than 33, 40 people per day, and only 7 days in a polling station, a unit will only do that number. And when you aggregate, it is impossible to achieve the 9 million voters that they are projecting. So Zambians need to vote. That's the only way they can get a leadership of their desire, a leadership that will work for them, that will deliver for them. And no Zambian should be disenfranchised.
As he made his way to his car, school children from their classes roared repeatedly the Bali slogan, forcing him to go and kiss them goodbye. As he returned to drive out, more pupils mobbed him, forcing him to return again. Time is ticking. Zambians are waged to vote on the 12th of August, 2021. Kalan Mchima reporting for Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Disability Rights Watch has noted with concern the manner in which the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, living with disabilities. Organization's coordinator Bruce Chioma has described this as a systematic denial of reasonable accommodation for persons with disabilities. In an interview with Camnet TV News, Mr. Chioma notes that most voter registration centers do not have the physical access features, making the environment hostile. Meanwhile, ICZ, in a statement issued to the media, says it has noted the concerns raised, among them the inclusion of persons with disabilities. More in this report.
The Persons with Disability Act of the Laws of Zambia on Accessibility and Mobility states that ramps for public buildings be placed or built to help aid persons with disability have access to buildings. In Zambia, over 5% of the country's population have a disability in some form or the other. But despite having laws that clearly state the demand, not much has been done, especially on temporary programs such as the voter registration exercise disability friendly, making it difficult for people to register the spam. While we hope for progress in the process, Ian Banda, a 25-year-old youth with physical disability, has called on the Electoral Commission of Zambia to ensure that the process is inclusive.
The Persons with Disabilities Act of number 6 of 2012, Division 6 of Political and Public Life, clearly stipulates that the government must effectively and fully participate, persons with disabilities to participate in political and public life. However, we still have challenges when it comes to access our ballot booth, with the fact that most of them are not accessible to persons with disabilities who have got a disability where they are using a wheelchair, and to those with the visually impaired. We don't have braille ballots to access for those who have got a visual disability. Of course, to the deaf with a disability, there is a need that the Electoral Commission of Zambia will demand that let there be sign language interpreters to all the centers where they are doing the electoral voter registration processes, in order to enable persons with disabilities to access freely without discrimination on an equal basis.
And speaking on the same matter, born short but living tall fears that differently abled persons might not be able to register as voters due to the challenges recorded thus far.
The slow pace being experienced with the voter registration process. If able-bodied persons are able to complain about this process, what more the differently abled persons, especially the physically challenged, who might not manage to be on the queues for a long time. We feel this matter is not worked on immediately. Differently abled persons might be differentiated in next year's crucial elections. As a result, we want to make an earnest appeal to the Electoral Commission of Zambia to give preferential treatment to differently abled persons.
Meanwhile, the Disability Rights Watch have called on the electoral body to ensure that they correct the situation before it's too late.
Primary concern as Disability Rights Watch with the current voter registration exercise is what seems to be a very systemic denial of reasonable accommodation for persons with disabilities. The Disability Act
and evaluation plan aimed at improving performance, transparency and accountability of technical and related targets for the energy sector. Energy Minister Matthew MUSUKWA says the plan will provide a comprehensive tracking system that enables transparent and objective management of information that accurately depicts the implementation progress and attainment of desired results in the country's energy sector. Meanwhile, the European Union Head of Operation Arnold Bochet has commended Zambia for its commitment to the current agreement to climate change and national determined contributions. More in this report.
Zambia's energy sector has continued to face many challenges. Among them is lack of proper planning and accountability. As it stands, there is currently limited integrated monitoring and evaluation and data sharing structures within the Ministry of Energy, as various stakeholders have their own data needs and reporting requirements. The ministry has since launched its first ever energy sector monitoring and evaluation plan with support from the European Union under the Increased Access to Electricity and Renewable Energy Production project.
This is the first energy sector-wide monitoring and evaluation plan the country has ever developed. As you may be aware, energy is a key resource that should be developed, harnessed, and properly managed within a very well-planned and structured sector. The need for sector-wide framework to harmonize the collection, storage, analyze, and dissemination of energy statistics from resource endowment to production, consumption, cannot be overemphasized. It is against this background that the Ministry of Energy has developed the Energy Sector Monitoring and Evaluation Plan. The plan aims to improve the performance, transparency and accountability of technical and related targets for energy sector.
Climate change and sustainable development in Zambia. And in fact, we commend the challenging commitments Zambia set itself to the Paris Agreement on climate change and its nationally determined contribution. This is very much in line, in fact, with the current policy trends in Europe, with our Green Deal objective, and that the Green Deal is not just about environment and climate change.
This service contract is part of the increased access to electricity and renewable energy production, we call it IREP, project that has an overall European Union grant contribution of 40 million euro for enhancing the enabling environment and building capacity to scale out the clean energies, and for demonstrating this through the pilot projects. The project scope is demand-driven, and each previous activity which we implement leads and feeds into new work streams. And this follows a systematic methodology and thus creates sustainable results.
Energy is a key resource that needs to be developed, harnessed, and properly managed within a well-planned and structured sector. A properly planned, structured, and monitored energy sector plays a pivotal role in the development of any country as it impacts the productivity of all sectors of the economy. Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
A University of Zambia lecturer, Austin Mbozi, has pleaded not guilty before the Lusaka Magistrate Court for allegedly touching a female UNZA student's buttocks, breasts and the waist against her consent. This is in a matter in which Mr. Mbozi, aged 51, is charged with one count of indecent assault contrary to Section 134, Cap 1 of the Penal Code Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Allegations are that Mr. Mbozi, on the 28th of September 2020 in Lusaka, unlawfully and indecently assaulted the first-year female UNZA student in the School of Education after he called her to her office and attempted to kiss her by force. The accused, who appeared before Magistrate Mwaka Mikalile for plea, denied the said allegations. The matter has been adjourned to the 4th of December 2020 for commencement of trial. Another student at UNZA is also facing a charge of indecent assault after he allegedly lowered his hands in a female student's pant and touched her private parts while she was asleep. Moving on in the news, the Zambia Chamber of Mines has called on the stabilization in the mining industry with regards to keeping the cost base as flat as possible in order to keep industry functional in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. Chamber of Mines Chief Executive Officer Sokwani Chilembo has told the Minister of Mines Richard MUSUKWA that there is also a need for the government to consider the non-dictatability of mineral loyalty as well as tax structures. And in his response, Mr. MUSUKWA has warned mines to stop using the pandemic as an excuse for failing to meet production standards. The minister says the government is expecting all mines to either increase or maintain production, considering that profits have allegedly been realized from the mines way before the outbreak of the pandemic.
And I want to assure you for the government's highest consideration of ensuring that the company or mining entities are kept afloat during this trying moment of COVID. I must also thank you sincerely that the mining houses have weathered a storm during these difficult times to keep most of the operations afloat under difficult circumstances. And I expect that we'll move forward even through an enhanced process, because now we are in the new normal of doing things. And certainly I do not expect that COVID going forward will be used as an excuse or as a scapegoat in terms of slowing production or in terms of ensuring that where we are supposed to be in terms of production is not achieved. I expect that the mining houses, being a torchbearer of safe measures in the industry, will use their skills to ensure that under these circumstances production is maintained and if not increased. So as regards the many issues that you have raised in terms of the tax measures and consistency, I want to assure you that as you have seen from the budget that the Minister of Finance did announce, is that government will not be bringing surprises to the industry in terms of the tax measures. We would like to be consistent.
We now take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin. Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chilua, the Healing Word Ministries International.
Starting on the 3rd to 6th December 2020.
Dr. Francis Miles from the USA returns to Zambia for a conference on issuing restraining orders.
Because you see, God responds to your revelation. So if you approach God as the healer, He heals you. If you approach Him as your shepherd, He will touch your soul. But if you approach Him judicially, He will show you He's the cause.
Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Time,
17 hours to 19 hours from Thursday to Saturday.
And on Sunday from 09 hours to 11 hours. For more details, call +260 962 965 883. You do not want to miss this conference this time.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. Some students in some higher learning institutions have endorsed the candidature of President Edgar Lungu ahead of the 2021 general elections. The students, who are proponents of the rejected Constitutional Amendment Bill number 10, claim that President Edgar Lungu has delivered on infrastructure development, hence he must be allowed to continue beyond 2021. The students, holding various portfolios, came from different higher learning institutions, including the University of Zambia, the Natural Resource Development College, and Cavendish University, among others.
On behalf of women, that we have the same equal energy and intellectual as men. Hence, sidelining us as women is not what the country needs today. Countrymen and women, it is cardinal as responsible citizens to cast our votes. It is our right and very important part of our community today. In this time of voters registration, my appeal to the youth of Zambia is register to vote for 2021. Every day, from Monday, we've been seeing polling different places being open so that voters can go and register. I advise each and every youth in Zambia, take it upon yourselves to go and register to vote. Voting, you registering to vote, is not for anyone. Do not do it for any political party. Do it as a citizen of Zambia. It is your responsibility to stand up and vote.
To my president and my patron, President Edgar Chagwa, that as partners in mission works, youths, we are endorsing President Edgar Chagwa for 2021. We will support him because of a lot of things, agendas that he has done for partners in mission works. As you might be aware, in 2019, we built a house for Reverend Johnny Chola in Porokoso, who is 107 years old. And we have got other projects. We want to build houses, one house per province, which is about 10 provinces, for the retired clergies. And we are requesting for any kind of empowerment to any well-meaning Zambia, especially our patron, if he can come in, so that at least we build those houses. And before May 2021, we usher those houses to our clergy.
And if Bill 10, for example, was enacted, we would find that we're going to create safe seats for persons with disabilities in Parliament, so that they can be able to have representation themselves and have people of their own to represent them in Parliament. Furthermore, the Patriotic Front government has been on hand to provide assistive devices for students with disabilities in the university through the Ministry of Community Development and Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities. For instance, as of last month, the university students with disabilities received different assistive devices from the Ministry of Community Development under the stewardship of Honorable Kabamba Mulenga, and also have continued receiving a lot of support from the Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities under the directive of the President Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
Meanwhile, President Edgar Lungu says he will stand as president in 2021 as the courts of law have cleared his candidature. Let's hear this.
Our kuchita and wa Concord Valley Lungu was at one term yaine kufa mu 2016 kukana na one term. Yana na ngombe kwa shile basa 1 year 6 months upon 8 months. teyandiyo yabantu ate mbalandira kukoti namanyasa akasakali namanyasa amashino ka butane temuli mulanga ni lungu alifo kuwekera kwenye vitatu tabu kitonselefo abakai mulaluka wakuwila kusu minafanya ungwila shwele za kusosa kwani butane kwenda bagifanya banesu kamukamerera tiri kulima so chikankala yashinga mulasosere chapeba tendifwaye uteko kulengomba n'abantu bose abantu zande ni democracy ni multi party bala abantu basalwa okwe bataya bombere ifuta kwebekala kyalo nangu ni mu UPND bakwira bombera bekala kyalo nangu ni mu MMD bakwira bombera bekala kyalo nangu ni mu PF bakwira bombera bekala kyalo.
Lusaka Mayor Mal Sampa has called for unity in the city of Lusaka and Zambia as a whole. The mayor says he acknowledges the different tribal and political challenges Lusaka city and the nation at large may face, but despite this, people must remain united, especially as the country heads towards the crucial elections. Mr. Sampa states that the objective of the One Zambia, One Nation cannot be overemphasized, saying it is a must that individuals resonate with it at a personal level. The mayor was speaking when Irish Ambassador Seamus O'Grady called on him at his office. And Mr. O'Grady says he is humbled to have a chance to dialogue with the mayor of Lusaka and much more, be able to appreciate the works and efforts being put in place to make Lusaka a better place through the office of the mayor. The ambassador conclusively pledged continued support to the city and the mayor as he bids farewell to Zambia and continues his tour of duty in Malawi.
We, as a nation, our future relies on remaining one Zambia, one nation, given the challenges of various tribes. But you picked it up well from where KK has been pronouncing and where he's taught us, educated us. I used to learn most of my primary school answers. The answer would always be one Zambia, one nation. Yeah. Then you get it right. Yeah. So that's years back, but the message still resonates and it's still true. And the moment we run away from that, then we end up having challenges as a nation. Yeah. So indeed, and I'm sure even if you go to the neighboring country, you still have your heart here in Lusaka.
Very much so, yes.
Indeed, and we are optimistic on my own behalf that it will be peaceful between now and the next election. And as Zambians always do, they will exercise their right to vote. And indeed, what is cardinal is that peace prevails and we unite as one Zambia, one nation. So thank you for your contribution to the city and the nation as a whole. The city will miss you. But our loss is the long way, or Blantyre or Malawi's gain. The long way, yeah. Yeah, but also we look forward to welcoming.
The Local Government Association of Zambia is worried that crowded trading places in the country could be a high breeding ground for COVID-19. In a speech read on his behalf by Center Coordinator Enes Sumani, Association Executive Director Maurice Mbolela says trading places like markets usually have large populations coming from all sectors of society, and that poses a great risk of spreading diseases. He says once COVID-19 hits any market, there can be disruption of services and the ripple effects could affect the entire country. He was speaking during a training program for non-pharmaceutical interventions to address matters of COVID-19 in all local authorities in the country. The training program for non-pharmaceutical interventions is targeted at all trading places under local authorities, but the pilot is targeting new Soweto market traders, after which the program may be rolled out to other trading places.
The Local Government Association of Zambia, with support from the GIZ and the USAID, established what is called the Local Government, the COVID-19 Advisory Center for Local Authorities. This is a COVID-19 crisis response center that is aimed to support councils to manage COVID in a coordinated manner, more like a one-stop shop for local authorities where they can get support to address issues of COVID. And the center has quite a number of functions, but amongst one of them is to develop manuals that can be shared or that can be availed to local authorities to use in the various scenarios of management of the COVID-19. So in the process of developing the tools, one of the tools that the center developed is what is called the non-pharmaceutical intervention tool. This is a tool that is basically looking at the issues that are not outside the regulations managing COVID, like Statutory Instrument number 21 and 22, issues to do with the masking up, social distancing, and regular hand washing or sanitizing. So the COVID Center with Lusaka City Council agreed that they do a pilot of this project, of this tool, on the application of the tool. And we agreed, or we chose New Soweto market to apply this tool. And the goal of applying this tool at New Soweto market is to draw experiences and lessons.
Lusaka High Court Judge Justice Wilfred Muma has fined suspended Patriotic Front Eastern Province Youth Chairperson Emmanuel Banda together with 3 others 150 kwacha each for disorderly conduct in a police station. Banda and his 3 co-accused have been ordered to pay the 150 kwacha cash each or serve 3 months imprisonment in default. The court has also sentenced Maxwell Pito to 12 months imprisonment with hard labor for assault. When passing the sentence, Judge Muma states that he had taken into account consideration the mitigation and that the convicts are first-time offenders who deserve leniency. Judge Muma states that the police station is supposed to be a place of peace, saying that's where people run to for help, hence the behavior of the convicts will not be allowed.
Emmanuel Banda, a Patriotic Front cadre, well known by his street name Jeje, was this morning, the 12th of October 2020, ordered by Justice Wilfred Muma to pay a fine of 150 kwacha cash together with his 3 co-accused, failure to which they face a 3 months imprisonment. However, Maxwell Pito, who admitted beating up a police officer at one of the country's biggest police stations, has been slapped with a 12-month sentence with hard labor. The trio, who are jointly charged with JJ, the suspended Eastern Province Youth Chairperson with disorderly conduct in a police station, are John Lungu, Moses Leonde, and Leopold Piri. 150 kwacha cash is all that they have been ordered to pay or face a 3 months jail sentence. Yesterday, the state amended the initial charge of aggravated assault to that of disorderly conduct in a police station. Delivering judgment this morning, Magistrate Muma stated that he had taken into account that the 5 PF cadres were first offenders who deserve the court lenience. However, he is disappointed with their act, as a police station is a place where people run to for help, hence such behavior must not be tolerated. According to evidence before court, the convict on the 6th of July 2020 stormed Lusaka Central Police Station after JJ discovered that his cousin by the name of William Tembo had been shot dead by a police unit called the Anti-Motor Vehicle Theft. This, however, did not go well with JJ, who suddenly became unruly to Alan Mbawa. The officer was later beaten by JJ's inchman. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Labour Minister Joyce Nonde-Simukoko, who has dragged her secretary to court for attempting to steal her money amounting to 15,000 kwacha, has narrated before Lusaka magistrate Felix Kauma that her secretary allegedly forged a 15,000 kwacha check and tried to cash. Ms. Simukoko testified that she made the discovery after receiving an SMS on her phone about the transaction which she never initiated. This is in a case where Ms. Nyembezi Masie, age 47, of Chilenje Township in Lusaka, is charged with 3 counts of forgery, uttering false documents, and theft of 15,000 kwacha. Ms. Simukoko has told the court that before she left the office, she partially filled in a check in the sum of 5,000, which she was supposed to donate to KAMANGA Missionary Church as part of charity. She asked Masie to complete filling a check in the amount of 5,000, but the secretary added a 1 in front of the 5,000 check to make it 15,000 kwacha. The matter has been adjourned to the 9th of December 2020 for continued trial. And moving on in the news, Lusaka-based UPND female political aspirants have launched a committee aimed at supporting each other in the run-up to the 2021 general elections adoption process. The committee, which includes aspirants at both parliamentary and local government levels, was formed with a sole purpose to raise funds and morally support to each other, as well as to lobby the party's hierarchy to adopt more women aspirants. Speaking at a media briefing Wednesday, Committee Secretary Chomba Nakazwe said the failure to adopt women to positions of influence only goes to undermine the quality of democracy in the country. Meanwhile, Lusaka Provincial Chair Lady Rosa Zulu says women in the UPND we're resolved to aspire for parliamentary and local government seats despite the uneven playing field. Ms. Zulu, who is also committee chairperson, said women have not been spared by the political violence, harassment and intimidation, hence there is need for them to take part in the governance of the country.
We are here as women aspirants from Lusaka province, regardless of where we are standing, as long as we come from Lusaka province. This team is known as Women Aspirants UPND. Our aim is to change the nation by putting women first so that our concerns are heard and worked upon. We only have one goal: to put P1 Hakainde Hichilema, aka Bali, into power in 2021. We know that Hakainde Hichilema will be president, and we are here to make that possible as women in the UPND party.
My plea to the party, which I know they're already supporting us, but even as we draw closer to 2021, is that let them consider us as women, and let them also look at us to say, even us as youths, we need to represent our fellow youths out there. Most of the times you find that people are complaining of the people that are representing us in parliament. It is because the youths were not trained, so they cannot face anything when they get there into parliament. But if we as youths are trained from our ages, I believe we're going to have a proper representation in our parliaments and also in our chambers.
My humble plea for a long time has been for the higher hierarchy in the party to ensure that they consider the female representation.
We take our second set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chilua, the Healing Word Ministries International.
Starting on the 3rd to 6th December 2020.
Dr. Francis Miles from the USA returns to Zambia for a conference on issuing restraining orders.
Because you see, God responds to your revelation. So if you approach God as the healer, he heals you. If you approach him as your shepherd, he will touch your soul. But if you approach him judicially, he will show you he's the cause.
Venue: The Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Time:
17 hours to 19 hours from Thursday to Saturday.
And on Sunday from 09 hours to 11 hours. For more details, call +260 962 965 883. You do not want to miss this conference this time.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, Guinean police have launched a sweeping operation against opposition politicians and activists following deadly post-election violence in the West African country. Officers on Wednesday arrested the vice president of Guinea's leading opposition party, the Union of Democratic Forces of Guinea. More than 100 other people, mainly activists, have also been caught in the police dragnet. The operation came after President Alpha Conde, 82, won a controversial third term after topping an October 18 poll with 59.5% of the votes, according to the official results released on Saturday. Opposition leader Silio Diallo from the UFDG party had declared himself victorious after the election and alleged voter fraud. That move triggered nationwide clashes between his supporters and the security forces, in which the government said at least 21 people were killed. The UFDG party put the death toll at 46, while observers from other African countries have backed the official results. France, the European Union and the United States have cast doubt. And we get into sports news. In sports news, Zambia national team players have pocketed $5,000 this evening as promised, as they managed to get the better of the Zebras of Botswana. The Zamfut crew can reveal that the Chipolopolo boys will each pocket $5,000 for a win. The government will flock out 70%, while the Football Association of Zambia FAS will put up the remaining 30%. The offer is also extended to the away match on Monday. Should they win, they will pocket $10,000 each. Zambia hosted Botswana this evening at the National Heroes Stadium at 18 hours, where they banged 2 goals and Zebras won. Zambia sits bottom of Group H with no point after 2 rounds of matches and a 6-goal difference after losing 5-0 and 2-1 to Algeria and Zimbabwe respectively.
We discussed with the president of FAS that government will give you, last time it was supposed to be 3-5. So although I haven't discussed with my boss, who's the president, I know he wants you to win. He said, go and tell them that I'm behind them, I support them. We'll revert it back to 3-5 once you win.
It's really a motivation that your presence, and you motivate us in a way that you speak about what we're going to play for. So of course in our minds we know what we are going in for, and of course like you said, it's not just about money, it's about just playing for our nation, because we love football, this is our career, our job, and we enjoy it. So if you motivate us in the money form, it's also a great way of supporting us and knowing that you are here with us. You are praying with us, which is also another figure in this team, so we are really proud of that. And of course, looking at our preparation, we are eager enough to go and do our best at 18 hours on the field. So we are ready.
That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Court finds a PF's JJ only 150 kwacha and case closed after his case was reduced from aggravated assault to disorderly conduct. Mines Minister Richard MUSUKWA warns mining companies against hiding their incompetence behind the coronavirus. Lusaka's Kamanga residents regret demolishing police post as crime shoots. And in international news, Guinea's arrests opposition leaders after disputed election. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO boys pocket 105,000 kwacha each for a win against Zebras. The Camnet World Verse of the Day is coming from the book of Romans 15 verse 13, and it reads, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.